Welcome back to Witness. 18-year-old Leslie Munoz is both parent and breadwinner to her two younger siblings, even though her parents are alive and well. But they are living in Mexico, forcibly deported after 20 years living in the USA. So how can the family hold together living in two different countries?
When your parents live on the other side of an international border, getting there can take a while.
I like it because, I get to see my parents and everything, but it's about a 2-hour drive and transportation to get here. So it's a hassle, right?
At least Marcos and Arilene are together, and my parents will be waiting for them on the other side. If I could, I would drive all of us to Mexico whenever we come to see Mom and Dad. But I haven't been able to keep up with the insurance payments on our car, and I'm not willing to break the law. It's just not how I was raised.
¡Mami! Hoy no voy a escuela. Hasta mañana. ¡Mami!
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien.
Tijuana is a dangerous city. In the past year, over 700 people have been murdered on the streets. And riding the bus at night scares me. Before my parents got deported, I never even used public transportation in San Diego. It's something my mother would never approve of. It'll be great to see my parents, but it won't be easy. I'm at a point where I don't know how much longer I can keep things together financially. People cross the border all the time to see family on the other side. I don't know how many of them are going to visit family members who got deported, but I've been told there are over 3 million children who are American citizens with at least one parent who doesn't have legal status in the U.S. We've actually talked about whether my parents should sneak back across the border. But my dad doesn't want to break the law again. He wants to do things right. He wants to keep paying his American bills and taxes, even if he's not in the U.S.
It's 1:13 and I have
I'm going over the bills with my mom and dad. Which ones can wait? Which ones we have to pay right away?
Dile que puros biles, ¿no? Nada de...
He said that there's only bills, and no money.
The big one is for the mortgage on the house. It's more than $2,000.
Yeah, because I guess if we don't pay these, they take our home away.
Y la de contra incendio también.
And we haven't paid the house insurance for,
Contra incendios.
for fires.
After fighting for so long to save the house, it's hard for my parents to accept that we might actually lose it.
Y no es lo material lo que importa, sino el esfuerzo, el trabajo.
She says it's not the material stuff that matters, is the hard work they put in,
Todos nuestros sueños y todo
all their
se quedó.
dreams and hopes, it all stayed in that house, so, yeah.
Pues yo pienso que nomás cuando los problemas están hay que enfrentarse pues a la realidad.
He said that, well, the only thing that he can do is just, wake up to reality.
First time that my mom saw these pictures with the music on the background, it made her enter emotionally, so it made her cry because of the good memories.
She still does, every time.
It makes her sad watching the pictures where Leslie comes out happy with her friends, and now she's sad and stressed out. She used to play field hockey, but that day that my parents were deported came, and she had to stop to being the grown second mom because she had to go and pay the bills, take care of us, take us to school. I sometimes think that the government has, in other words, betrayed me because I am a citizen, and I think I should have the right to have my parents.
I understand that they deport people that are criminals, and that is, the law, and for me, that's fine. Deport criminals that are a threat to our country. But people who contribute to the country, people who pay their taxes, people who do good things, I don't think they should be deported, and that's what they did to my parents, and it was not fair. I have the right to be here. I'm a citizen. But if I lose my home, I would have to go live with my parents, and I don't want to.
Sometimes I do just, get frustrated, mad, angry, probably all the emotions at the same time. Yeah.
Unless something drastic changes, it seems like we will have to live like this for some time. The court order that deported my parents said they couldn't even apply to return to the US for 10 years. Maybe a congressman or a senator could help us, or maybe the new president will change immigration policies. At least for now, it doesn't look like we have many options. If we really have to wait 10 years before the government will take another look at our case, we'll be even less of a family than we are now.
She buy me stuff.
I think of Adilene. When I was her age, my mother was there every night to help me with my homework and pick out my clothes for the next day. She was only 8 when she saw her mom and dad taken away in handcuffs.
When my parents were deported, I was hugging my mom. So then an immigration came and he took me away from her. Like, he pushed me. So then I started crying. So then my cousin came, he hugged me, and then it was nighttime. My dad got handcuffs. Then they took them different cars.
It's absolutely shameful that minors would have to face this sort of decision, whether they stay here with one parent and the other parent is deported, or both of their parents are deported and they stay here with relatives, or whether they have to make that difficult choice of moving to their parents' home countries, and in some cases not knowing the language, not being accustomed to traditions, and are facing a possible traumatic experience that could set the pace in a negative way for the rest of their lives.
It's Sunday afternoon, the worst day of the week for my family.
When I'm here on Fridays, I feel like so happy. But when I leave Sundays, I feel so sad because I'm not with them anymore.
Walking to the border crossing is a weekly ritual. It's one last chance to be like most other families, at least for another couple 100 feet.
My sister, that's what my mom likes to see, that my sister's always happy. And especially when she's with them. She only gets to spend like 2 days with their parents, and then she has to go back.
My mom and dad are proud of the way we've handled the nightmare that started on February 2007. They've always taught us that no matter how difficult things are, giving up isn't the answer.
But this was America. Did you actually want people to be treated that way in America?
So I'm back in school,
If you're an American
working to
citizen?
get my high school diploma. It hasn't been easy taking on another obligation.
And what we did during World War II, we took Americans of Japanese descent and we took them away from their homes.
But I'm glad to be back in the classroom, learning about the history of my country and how other citizens have struggled against injustice.
These are human beings. A good portion of them were Americans. And because they were of Japanese descent, these are the things they did to them. They put them in horse stalls.
A lot of Japanese Americans who went to the internment camps had to sell their homes for a fraction of what they were worth. I think I know how they must have felt, abandoned by their own government.
And yet they were American citizens. And the government said that they were doing this for their own good.
My parents may have stayed in the U.S. illegally, but they taught me that as an American, anything I can dream, I can achieve. My whole family is living proof of that. My dream is that someday the Munoz family will be together again, living the way a family is supposed to, together.
a family torn apart. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for Witness.